lives are many roads. For the love of cause Uganda, changing lives across the border. One God, many stories. No moment, no story. Speak your truth and take your chance. This could be a winning dance. No more praying late at night. Students chasing every little light. Brother trying hard to feed the hope. Still strong though he walks alone. Every star that's a given. Every soul that believes in dreaming. No matter where you come from today, your story can open the way. It's this about the God. It's your first being. It's all of who you are. It's this about the God. It's your first being. It's all of who you are. Many stories, many lives, many flows. For the love of cause Uganda, changing lives across the border. One God, many stories. No moment, no story. Speak your truth and take your chance. This could be a winning dance. One God, many stories, many lives, many flows. Changing lives across the border. One God, many stories. No moment, no story. Speak your truth and take your chance. This could be a winning dance. Yes, upon the God. It's all of who you are. Yes, upon the God. It's all of who you are. Hi guys, how you doing today? I hope your evening is okay. Nva kulaba kujjajja wange olwaleero, but I don't go all the way. Mbadde ne Sekatawa ne mu dropping awo wenkyamidde ku main, and yeah, and so I'm proceeding. This kati muline ekkubo muwulirire emmotoka yo ng'ekubagana, okitegeera, ogiwulira kati. Today I have flagged up, you remember the Nungwa gye nakolako ebiganye diagnosis. Today I gave it back to the owner, and I think for the very first time awulidde nti emmotoka ye erimu obunyonyi ekubagana, because he has been able to drive it nga he's not worried about the engine stalling, he's not worried about the engine not going with enough power. Nekansoke mbabuuzeeko nga sineyongerayo. How are you? Mwebale kukeera abakedde ku broadcast. Jones Info, Kazoba Lawrence, Mpanga Godfrey, Ricky Chikawa VIP, Basic Chris, Osipa Nkunda, Mwanguzi David, President Eric Dan, Ukankomao, Simon Baker, Juko Nicholas, Muyombia Mark, yeah, and the guys Govero Tumasuli, Tatusemuto Checho, Antonio Zunga. Ekubo chiri otamanye Kampala wano. Is there a road you don't know? Because it seems like all the roads of Gamanyi. So I have two inspection stories to tell. One is the car we bought. The other one we did not buy it. But I'm going to share both. When sobola kulega kandege, embozi ngenda jinyumiza mbifo bisobola kulegeramu. Chikola. Do you know what that car is? Akakamuro kamukalaba. That's a Golf 1. Akubaka itaka Golf 1. It's probably a 1970 something model, 1980 something model, 1970 something model. From dusty road to Benzie patrol, break it down, helping every drummer in town. For the love, light, all the new the sun will bright. Toyota, Nissan, Benz, or Mazda, we're breaking down on propaganda. Every mama's got a tell, no feeling trying to see this girl. Don't test the brand, for the love of cars, Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to Benz patrol. Teams we break down, helping every drummer in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars. Pre-purchase checks, we lead the way. Track your car, no games play. Restore the past, drive into tomorrow. We bring the love, no just the horsepower. If you know warranty expired, we'll show you what's real, no just the hype. Styling views and meeting moves, we teach you how to just photos and tools of machines. It's the love, the life, the for the love of cars, Uganda, we roll. From dusty road to Benz patrol. Break it down, helping every dollar in the town. For the love, for the love, for the love of cars.
So guys, yesterday, no, the other day, it was the other day. Yesterday we bought the Mark X. Now, was it yesterday? Was Saturday? It was still yesterday. So yesterday I did 2 inspections. I did 2 inspections yesterday. No. The Mark X we actually bought on Friday. On Friday, someone called me, a gentleman called me and said, Arthur, how much do you inspect for? I needed to inspect a car. He had like a car lined up. It was one single car. And he wanted me to look at it. And he said, I'm going to call you back. He didn't call me back until like 4 p.m. Yeah, at first it was a Paso, then it was a Rumion, then it was a, I don't know which other car. And then he calls me at 4 p.m. and says, Arthur, Jangon Sange Kurumumba Avenue, you check this Mark X. So it was a Mark X. So I went and phoned him there. And there was only this one car in the price range. The people wanted 27 in the beginning, but on the 28, the back 27, we inspected it. The issues that we found in the car are definitely in the report. But we test drove it and we found that it was actually okay. But I told him to buy it at 26. And while those guys had refused, I called the gentleman. I think it's the first time that he saw it. And then we told him, and the guys laughed and he said, yes, just give us 500k. I said, okay, I'm going to give 500k. So after he accepts to give us 500k, I tell the gentleman, you know what, now go and tell him you're giving him 26 and you give her 500,000. So that's how the seller accepted to take 26 million things. Now, that Mark X seems like it's a good buy, but it also seems like it's a bad buy. It's a mixture of both. Personally, I felt like we could have gotten it cheaper. Now, you see, when you're buying a car, there are 2 questions. The first question is, can I get it cheaper? Or should I get it cheaper? Normally, the answer is that you should get it cheaper. Then the next question is, where can you get it cheaper? Now, most of the times when we buy a car that you guys might actually think is unreasonable, I personally think the Mark X should have been like 24 million shillings, but there was no other option anywhere. There was only one option of them. Because the guy actually asked me, if you find that this guy is not good enough, will you help me look at another one? I say, yeah. But there is a time when you come and look at a car and you know you don't know any car that is cheaper than that or even at the same price anywhere. We bought that Mark X but I didn't know anyway. I didn't have even an idea. Arthur, let's look at other cars tomorrow. Ngasigenda kugamba will get a car that is like that, as good as that. That car was good. Now, I think according to the report, we didn't talk about the windscreen, but we did talk about the brakes. Do I even remember the other issues? Just not 2 tires, 2 shocks, brakes. I think those were the issues with that car. There was no serious issue, and most of the issues, those are things that you can work on. Mpora. Of course, the AC wasn't fresh at all. The AC wasn't fresh at all. So, but none of the problems that were with that car are problems that can make someone not buy the car. Now, the car is black, so I'm thinking, people, you guys have been told that black cars are cheap, are very cheap. A black car is very cheap when there's a silver car in the same price range. Then the black car will greatly lose value. You get? But if there is no silver or white car or car in the vicinity, then the black car is actually going to be more expensive than the silver or grey car. So I saw a comment by someone, and I'm curious to know. Every time someone says, you bought this car very expensively, I am curious to know what that person's business is. Why? I would like to engage someone that knows where cheap cars are. A lot of times I don't get customers for inspection because they have an unrealistic expectation. So for me, every time you have a very unrealistic expectation, I don't do inspection for you. Why? Because at this moment I am trying to maintain what I've built. When the car is actually bad, you will start saying Arthur. Or if we go together and you don't get a car, you will say Arthur. You get, and normally the people that are looking for those extremely cheap cars, they will have those things to say. Now Arthur sends an inspection to get into moroka. Nenga go alimirako kwagala ogule moroka yara isenyo. So now me, when I have people that have unrealistic expectations, when I know what is in the market and the market doesn't project what they want, I tell them off. Like today morning, I had a conversation, a very strange conversation. Like I normally tell people here and on TikTok. I'm actually forced to do a video on TikTok, explain, because normally these are TikTok people. I explain what I do. I normally explain to you guys what I do when I'm doing inspections and what you should expect from me. But then there are times I get text messages on WhatsApp that are very strange. Like I got this text message on WhatsApp that was asking me, Arthur, do you do full car inspection or you inspect some parts and leave other parts? And now normally when I get such a question, I'm curious to know where the question is coming from. Like if you ask me, Arthur, do you inspect the entire car, or you inspect some parts and leave other parts? So I asked him a question. What exact parts would you want to be inspected? Because a person like that seems to be knowledgeable. And then he replied by saying, I don't know. If I knew, I would not ask. And then I answered him by saying, I do full professional inspection, a full purchase inspection. And then he said, but I need you to explain to me what exactly do you do? Normally when I get questions like that, or your money, I'm not going to do inspection for them. Those are normally very difficult customers. I think with inspection, I've learned to identify very difficult customers. And then he went on to say a bunch of other things, including if this is Arthur, I am not happy with you. If this is a handler, you should be fired, and answer questions. If you don't know what is done during inspections, then you should let the professional do. Like when I go to the hospital, I don't know what the doctor is going to do, but I trust that the doctor is actually going to do a good job. The moment you start telling a doctor, you should not be in his hospital. Or you should not be in the doctor's room. So when he said a bunch of other things, I told him, you know what, I will not be giving you my service. I will not offer my service to you, because I've had customers like you and the experience is normally not very good. And that's the truth. So for me, every time I spot that someone might give me a hard time, or your mutera. So I am forced to actually do a video on TikTok explaining to people what happens during my inspection and what they should expect. And then you guys on YouTube already know when I do inspection. Or I should also break it down for you. We do when we go to do inspection, we definitely do engine check, we check your transmission, we check the electronic system, we check the chassis, we do inspect the body for blemishes that you might not see, and then we check the suspension, we see what shock absorbers, bushes, suspension plates, we test drive the car to see how it feels on muddy and tarmac. And and also we do go uphill, downhill. We want to see how the transmission and engine are working together to give this car power. We also do a computer diagnosis, and then where possible, we go on the pit to look under the car, do inspection. We also look for leakages. Now, at the end of all that, we also look at the paperwork of the car and see, does it have a police receipt or nothing? And then I compile a report for you in story form. I tell the story. I compile the report in a way that any other person can read the report and understand what we did during the day, but in a way that you'll also not forget what happened during that day. Why do I narrate the inspection? It's because people can forget and they end up saying, Arthur did not do this or did not do that. So when I do that report, you can also read it and remember what I told you, what I didn't tell you. There have been instances where I told someone, we took Wish and the four-wheel drive Wish. The two-wheel drive Wish was more expensive. They were both good, but the two-wheel drive Wish was more expensive. And then he asked me, four-wheel drive the Yongeda Moji. Well, the difference didn't make sense to him, and he said, let me take the four-wheel. I also did tell him, with this money we can borrow a new model Wish from the bond. He also refused to take the advice. And then he drove the Wish and got tired very fast. He wanted to exchange, but he had to sell the Wish he had, and it was four-wheel drive. Now, when it reached the time of selling, they were buying it very cheaply, telling him it's four-wheel drive. I am the first person texted, giving me feedback. Arthur, I would like to give you feedback. You did not advise me when I was buying this Wish. When I was buying this Wish, you did not advise me. You did not advise me, and I bought a four-wheel. Now I've lost a lot of money. And I told him, I reminded him how I asked him to buy the two-wheel drive even when it was more expensive. You get? So I'm trying to avoid such. Sometimes I get feedback like that, Nenga feedback. You should be giving it to yourself. Sometimes you guys don't listen to me. And that's probably the reason I also come here and share. I share the stories with you so that you understand why we made the decision we made, why we bought the car we bought at that price. So that like 5 weeks, 4 months later, 1 year later, if you come back and say, Arthur, but this car we bought it, I can go back in the archives and say, you see, I even told the story. Oh, I share the inspection report. You get? So it's and these days I even add images. These days I even add images to the report. So it's sometimes I don't add images, but most times I do add images. It makes the report more engaging. So if I inspect like more than 3 cars, sometimes I put the images of all the cars that I've inspected, especially if these are cars that you've gotten, so that we go through the steps and then we understand why we did not buy one car and left and bought the other one and stuff like that. So anyway, we bought that Mark X, and although someone has commented that it was a bad buy, he just doesn't understand the market. The market right now is a very fragile market, and Morocco actually, I can tell it was very cheap. But the cheap, when you look at what is in the market right now, that car was cheap. You see, the person that bought that car they spent the entire day moving around, went to Nakawa, went to Bakuli, went where he ended up at Lumumba Avenue. That's where he got the car. Since the Najimufunid day, day. Kati, actually, Okumanyanga, he called me to come and prove that the car is actually okay. He was not sure the car was okay. While we were inspecting, because of the price and the condition that car was in, we were trying to look for what is wrong with that car. And there was nothing. Absolutely nothing. Those mechanical things that we put in the report. So that was the inspection of Friday. And the guy was saying, and by the time they came out of the bank for payments, I was already doing the chimeza. And so you see the phone call that kept coming in. that was the gentleman, and I kept not answering his phone calls. And yeah, so I think I was supposed to help him transfer the car, but he did not turn up. So the car was in very good condition. And then there is a shortage of hybrids in the market though. I had someone else who wanted to buy hybrid, and he has looked in the market, Tazidaba, and then he was asking me if I know anywhere where he can buy a Prius. I have no idea. So yesterday I went to help someone inspect a Subaru Outback 2012 model. It was in someone's compound somewhere. They say it was there for a month, made total sense, and they were selling it to him at 28 million shillings. Now the Subaru Outback, remember, we bought one at 36 million shillings cash from the Basubuzi, 36. So buying a Subaru Outback, it was a UBQ, Subaru Outback UBQ 2012 model at 28, something, a car that has been moving for like 3-4 years is not a fair deal. So, but I advised the gentleman to bargain up to 25. 25 seemed fair because Nemba Sobuzingo Genzen Bibanda Outback here 2012 UBQ a jump between 25 and 27. So buying it from an individual at 28 is an overstretch. But better, worse even still, I think I should just share the report. We did not buy the car, but I'll share the report. Just remove the images probably, because Teba, they did not buy the car. They ended up saying they are going to the bond. So the car had a leakage on the transmission, and remember Subaru is CVT, that Outback is CVT. It had a leakage there, and it needed all the suspension bushes, the main bushes were needed. So the Outback. But even then, those are things that did not have very big impact on my advice for the gentleman. Why? Because the Subaru Outback, even in very good condition, and it was maroon. That's another thing. It was maroon. It wasn't white. It wasn't silver. It wasn't black. It was a color that is. And you guys that are going to buy cars, as you buy your maroon cars, remember people are going to refuse to buy them because of the color. And I keep hearing people say that in the sigura moroka ya kutunda da. Yes, nobody buys a car to sell, but you will sell. Some of the reasons people think they will be selling their cars is because they are poor. Now, would you rather lose money because you bought a car sigura ya kutunda? I've seen several people say that. This normally comes with people that are buying cars that are not recommended by anyone.
Sitting up motoka, sitting up talanja, sitting up bling, jagala kuwa some love, give me some love, I'll say yes, I'll say no, I'll say baby let's take it slow. You're my number one girl, you cool my world, you took my heart. Me bad, you make me big, you make me big. Every time I come over, you make me big. But why? It's you touch and leave my. But why? Girl, I love you, but you never ever take what I'm saying. See, I need you.